Assalamu alaikum everyone. So I guess we are live now. I welcome all of the viewers in this webinar. Firstly, introducing myself. I am a lecturer in the Mechatronics department at SZABIST Karachi, and I'm also the FYP coordinator for this year. And also, I am an alumna from SZABIST Mechatronics 2013 batch. So I welcome everybody. So the agenda of today's webinar is regarding the final year project students. So you can see 4 young students with us. The young minds will be discussing their ideas today with us. I will be interviewing all the 4 graduates. Uh, they will be graduating this year, inshallah. So I will be asking them about their final year projects, how they manage to achieve their deliverables in this pandemic, and so this will be our today's session about. So first of all, introducing SZABIST. SZABIST has its campuses in Karachi, Islamabad, Larkana and Dubai. Also, a new campus has been inaugurated in Gharo recently. So let's talk about first the final year projects at SZABIST. How do we conduct them? So basically, like in any engineering university, like the final year project students are asked to make a project in their final semester, final 2 semesters, just to prepare them for the real world. So basically, we don't ask for any novelty in this. The students are asked to make the project on their own, and we allow a maximum of 3 group members, because in the past we've seen that beyond 3, um, there is not substantial amount of learning. So that is why we've kept the limit to a maximum of 3 members. So here today we have 4 groups. 1 member from each group is representing their project. So the purpose of this final year project is to equip them with the skills so that they can go into the industry and then carry out their work as needed. So they use all of the skills learned in the 4-year bachelor program, and they apply from the designing phase to designing in CAD, and then CAD modeling, and then of course analyses, FEA analysis and all, and then they actually design the product. They do the calculations prior to that. They design the product, and then they actually, because it's mechatronics, so they integrate the hardware with their software thing, and perform the testing and troubleshooting, and then they come up with the finalized product. So this is our aim, like any other engineering university. So as I told you before that, the groups are of 3 members, not more than that. And one thing more I would like to share is that the teachers who are undertaking the FYP projects, there's a limit. We've kept a limit to the number of projects a teacher can take, that they can supervise. So that is a maximum of 2. Not more than 2 a teacher can take in a particular year. Reason being that we need the quality of the FIPs. We need them up to the mark. So that is why we want the students to get the ample amount of learning and ample amount of time and this discussion with the supervisors. So that's why we've kept the limit of the teacher, that one single teacher cannot undertake more than 2 projects in 1 year. So this was about a brief introduction about how we undertake mechatronics projects at SZABIST in the final year. So now let me introduce the group leaders, the young group leaders, those who are with us now. We have 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 from AGV Forklift. AGV Forklift is his final year project. Next we have Umme Hamna from IoT-based fish farm. And then we have Rizwan Saleem from Smart Industries for manufacturing of automobile. Sunvisor, I think Rizwan's disconnected for some reason. He'll be joining us within some time. And then we have Hassaan Khalid from IoT-based Poultry Farm. Okay. So Group leaders, can you please introduce yourself? Starting from 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗧.
Okay, yeah. So, am I audible?
डिवाइस बंद ये बंद हो गया
Yes, 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗧.
Okay. Am I audible? Is my voice clear?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are audible.
As you already, as Ms. Hafsa Mir already introduced me as Mohammad Azefa, I am studying in Mechatronics department in 2017 batch, and it's about my last semester, 8th semester, in which I am going through with my final year project, that is AGV forklift.
Thank you, 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗧. Hamna.
Hello, ma'am. Hi, my name is Umme Hamna, and I'm presenting my FYP automatic IoT-based automatic fish farming and monitoring system.
Thank you, Rizwan. Okay, Rizwan's again disconnected. Hassaan, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am. Assalamualaikum. My name is Mohammad Hassaan Khalid. I'm the final Mechatronics student here at SZABIST, and I'm working on my FYP. My FYP idea is IoT-based poultry farm.
All right. Thank you. So moving on to the next question. Can you please describe your project? In this, you can share the videos you have made in your project. So starting from 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗧, can you please introduce your project and then you can share your video with us too?
Okay. So firstly, my project AGV forklifter is based upon the industry of mechatronics, industry of warehousing in Pakistan. Since 2005, the warehouses in Pakistan are using forklifters in the warehouses, but those forklifters electric vehicles used to be charged. So by using that phenomena about making industry automized, warehouse keeping Pakistan in mind, and the warehouses in Pakistan should be automized on such platform that they should.
𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗧's video is paused.
Okay, is it good now?
Yes, it's good now. Yes, 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗧, please continue. I think there's some internet connection. Hamna, can you please can you start off describing your project?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So, as I told before, my FYP title is IoT-based automatic fish farming and monitoring system. So our system is based on recirculating aquaculture system, and we are implementing Industry 4.0 on aquaculture industry of Pakistan. So as you all know, that aquaculture is not majorly practiced in Pakistan. Still, the conventional method are used for fish farming, but still this industry is lacking. So this is the project we are going to do. So we have proposed a fully automatic fish farming system, which will include automatic feeding mechanism, filtering mechanism, and the environmental and temperature control for fishes. As
Okay,
because
so
fishes are very harm. Yes, ma'am.
sorry, you continue.
Yeah, because fishes are very sensitive to their environment. So that's why we are controlling these parameters. Okay, so can I show
So
my video now?
is there any specific kind of fish that you are catering?
Yeah, ma'am. Basically, for intensive fish farming, there are type of fishes which we can easily cultivate, but we have chosen tilapia because it is the second most cultivated fish globally, and it is a very stunted growth in intensive fish farming for tank
Okay, so
because
you've
they
narrowed your
require.
project.
Yes, ma'am. We have
Okay,
narrowed your project because for each fishes we have to calculate all the heat losses and all that. So we have to specify the fishes because of the size and heat losses.
all right. You can turn on your video now.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, have to open the IoT-based automatic fish farming and monitoring system. The motive of making this project is to overcome aquaculture problem industry of Pakistan. Still in Pakistan, there is a culture of captured fishes, and there is a very small culture of aquaculture, inland pond farming. But these two cultures are not fulfilling the requirement of fish need of Pakistan. So for this purpose, we have proposed this project, which is basically tank farming. It is an aquaculture. It is based on recirculating aquaculture farming. The base of our project is Industry 4.0, in which we are going to transfer the data to the farmer app, which can be used remotely. This whole process is fully automatic. It will contain automatic feeding mechanism, and there are two parameters will be controlled, which is temperature and oxygen. This process is full automatic. It will contain an automatic feeding mechanism, and it has sensors which will going to be monitor water quality continuously. Also, this project will going to control two parameters automatically, which is temperature and oxygen level. As I said before, this project is based on recirculating aquaculture farming. So we are going to recycle and reuse the same water. So therefore, this project is more economical and more environmental friendly, and it will help to overcome the issues facing by Pakistan aquaculture industry.
So basically, this is our main tank in which we are keeping our tilapia fishes, and you can see the structure of this tank is circular in shape because of the draining capability of this tank, and also it has a good impact on the psychology of a fish. We have used these sensors to monitor the water quality so that we can send this data to the farmer's app, which he will be using, so that he can be aware of what is the situation of the tank. Okay. So basically हमने इस टैंक को नीचे से टेपर्ड किया है ताकि जितने भी डस्ट पार्टिकल्स हैं, सॉलिड पार्टिकल्स हैं, वो यहाँ पर आके गैदर हो सकें सेंटर में, और वहाँ से हम इसको ड्रेन आउट कर सकें. तो ड्रेन आउट होने के बाद इस टैंक में जाएंगे. देखो फिल्टर हमारा टैंक है. यहाँ पर मतलब
using is tank culture fish farming. Basically, we will filter out the water that contains waste, and that it would be recycled inside the tank again. This will need less amount of water, and it is environment friendly. So basically, this is our filter mechanism. It contains a mechanical filter and a biofilter. In mechanical filter, there are two layers, a foam layer and a polystyrene layer. The foam layer will filter out the solid particles that are in the water after taking out from the main tank. So the lower layer is polystyrene layer that will clear the water out, that will give a shine to a water. This is a biofilter that will contains bioballs. This is used to filter out the ammonia in the water through nitrification.
So basically, this is our whole project, and we have used tilapia fish because it has stunted growth, and it has a really good growth in densely populated areas. So that's why we have chosen tilapia fish. The data which has been collected from here, it will be accessible to the app, which will be the farmer which will be using that app, and it has the control of the feeding mechanism and also the aeration, and all the controls will be on the app, which will be used by the farmer. Thank you.
All right, good, Hamna, thank you. Moving on to Hazaifa again.
Okay, sorry for interruption.
It's okay.
So since I already discussed with my final year project AG forklift, so by considering the automation in Pakistan's warehouse industry, we have come up to the automation of AGV forklifter vehicle, which should be used in order to make operations even faster. So here I'm going to share the video.
Hazaifa, please share again. This is the lifting mechanism. All right, thank you, Muzaffar. There are a couple of questions for you, so we will ask you afterwards. Moving on to
Sure.
Hassaan. Can you please
All right.
introduce your project?
Yes, I'll be doing that. As I mentioned earlier, my project was IoT-based poultry farm. The idea we worked on was converting an open shed farm with certain features as to replicate the capabilities of a controlled shed or a closed shed farm. We have designed and prototype on the parameter of conventional poultry farm and have scaled down them to our suitability. We have utilized a batch idea production that is being currently practiced in the pharmaceutical industry as to avoid or reduce contamination or spread of any contagious disease. The prototype that we have built consists of 5 chambers that is in accordance with the 5 development stages of the chicken. The system has been automated to a certain extent that eliminates several labor-intensive tasks such as water and food distribution and manually maintaining the overall temperature. The system has potential to inform us about the right pressure which needs to be maintained or conserved in food and water line depending upon the quantity in the main tanks. Using the elevation factor to our advantage, each chamber within the prototype has its separate food and water supplies. Several crucial environmental parameters are monitored and controlled that affects the health of the bird. Each chamber has been implemented with sensors like temperature and humidity sensor. These parameters are maintained to optimum levels through combined efforts produced by cooling system and motorized smart curtains. The overall structure is monitored for several harmful poultry gases that are endangering both to the poultry birds and the environment. The real-time data enable the ventilation system to extract the necessary amount of toxic gases and help us in scheduling cleaning within the farm.
All right. You have any video to share?
Yes, I
Show it.
will be now.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum. We are final year student from Mechatronics department. This is Mohammed Hassaan Khalid, and we have 𝗘𝗡𝗚𝗏𝗂𝗏𝗂𝗏 and Mr. Aziz Kitab.
With the extensive population growth, the poultry industry has become an important industry for the sustainable food supply in our country. And the development of such automatic system could be very useful for the industry. As the present poultry farm loses a lot of finance to the labor and due to uncertain conditions. So we propose an IoT-based system which will be applicable for the poultry industries, and it's going to provide the optimum conditions like this, maintaining temperature, providing food and water to the chickens.
So we have automated our poultry farm process. The pipelines from the water storage tank and feed storage tank will provide water and food continually to the poultry. The ultrasonic sensor and the load sensor will be monitoring the water level and feed level respectively. The fans and the curtains will be operated by the readings from the temperature sensors, and a compartmental system will provide a high qualitative and quantitative poultry yield.
There are about 80% open shed farm, and keeping that point in consideration, we have created a prototype that is going to show ways on how can we convert an open shed farm into closed shed farm. For healthy living of the poultry birds, there are certain environmental parameters that needs to be maintained, and for that purpose we are measuring temperature and humidity parameters in every pipe compartment, and we are measuring 4 gas parameters which are very crucial in poultry farm, that are methane, carbon monoxide, hydrogen sulfide and ammonia. In order for the condition to be improved much further, we are trying to send all of the sensor data with the help of small Linux computer into the server, which can be viewed anywhere by anyone into anywhere around the globe.
Okay, thank you, Hassaan. Rizwan. Can you please describe your project? Hello, Rizwan, can you hear me? But we cannot hear you. Just kindly check your mic connection. Rizwan, we cannot hear you. Can you please check your mic connection? Still not working. Okay, Rizwan, you can troubleshoot your problem. Meanwhile, we move towards Sir Anil's question. He has asked when we have to start working on our FYP as we are in the 6th semester. So, I would like everyone to answer this question one by one. Hamna, can you start off?
Sure, ma'am. So, ma'am, starting from 6th semester, we should start it analyzing that on which department you have to make FYP. Like you have to start researching on that thing from 6th semester, because In sixth semester, we have studied the major subjects like we have studied MMP and mechatronic system designing and control systems. So we have an idea of something, and we have written so many research papers. So we should have an idea of which industry we are going to target or what topic we are going to target. So we should have started working on a topic from sixth semester, and it is very good if you can choose any project you will do in a sixth semester, and you can continue that project to your FYP seventh and eighth semester. That will very good if you start researching from sixth semester.
All right, good. Next, Hassaan.
I guess this is the right time to choose the idea of your FIP because you have gone through a lot of project, you have experience in the lab, and
Okay, Huzaifa, please continue. Would you like to share
Okay.
your views on this?
Yeah, well, I would definitely like to share my views on that. As Hamna already discussed the point that in as soon as we are done with sixth semester, the most important part of this FIP project is you need to do research. Without research, you won't be able to finalize your project, or at least you will be able to start your project basically. So at the time of sixth semester, you'll be having the knowledge from first semester till the seventh semester, sixth semester. So you have to use that. You can use that core courses for which you can be able to decide what you are going to make, or you can like decide by your skill knowledge, like in a particular subjects regarding designing, mechanical projects, maybe software projects. So you can be like make up your mind what you are going, what you will be making, and as soon as you are done with sixth semester, that is the time when you realize when you should start discussing about your project FIP.
All right, great. So from sixth semester is the right time for choosing your FIP, and by the end of the sixth semester, you should try to finalize, or at least by the summer before your seventh semester, you should be able to form your title. Okay, so what was the motivation of building this project is my next question to all the groups. Yes. Rizwan, have you sorted out your problem? Not yet, I guess. So starting off with Hassaan, what is the motivation of building IoT-based poultry farm?
we had several motivation for the project. One of the main motivation was to meet the global food shortage. We see the population in the world is currently growing at a rate of around 1.05 per year, but the resources are not. And to combat certain type of situation, we need to come up with a sustainable solution. And this was recognized in General Assembly session on 9th October 2009, where the experts tell second committee that the food production must double by 2050 to meet demand from world growing population, and they needed to be implementing certain strategies that need to be put into action to combat hunger. Further, adding to the statement, UN also warned that coronavirus measure could be also a cause of global food shortage. And let us come to onto some local level. In Pakistan, poultry production is one of the most dynamic and well organized sectors, contributing at least about 1.276% to the overall GDP. In the last few years, the poultry sector has seen excellent growth and has emerged as a source of employment. Seeing certain conventional techniques that were being adopted by this farm in identification of any spread of disease puts a lot of stress to the poultry farm owners in terms of cash. And there were certain practices in these farms that were instigating such deadly outbreak. Currently seeing that 80% of our poultry farms in Pakistan were open shed, and we had to come up with a sustainable solution that could be easily implemented as well as adopted by the farm owners. And so we decided to construct a prototype that was capable of modifying an open shed farm and implementing certain facilities which could reduce the mortality rate plus increasing the profit without putting too many resources into use, because these certain farms are located outside the cities, out on the suburb, where the electricity line and certain facilities are not available.
All right. Thanks, Hassan. Um, moving on to Huzaifa.
Okay, so the most important motivation to me in order to make this FYP AGV forklifter is, since as I already earlier discussed this thing in 2010 in Pakistan, the total electric vehicle which were used in warehouses were in count 10. So now, by the year 2015, the total count turned to be 15, which was not so. That gap is very minimal, and in order to cover up that gap, which not only just increase, which will not only hinder the problems process of warehouse operations. So, in order to run the industry towards more automation, the biggest motivation to us by seeing our warehouse industry, is to manufacture, design, and produce a product that is AGV forklifter, which is autonomous, which can work by itself, which can perform operations by itself, while just sitting at the office, is to have to order that project, a robot, AGV, and it will be working as it is programmed. So this motivation, from this industry motivation, this is what we decide to make at the end, and uh, as you already see the video, which is quite success up till now. Thanks.
Yeah, it is. And good luck. And your project is also industry based. Please mention that as well.
Yes, well, my AGV forklifter is an industry-based project, and I'm currently working with alongside Helic company, Mr. Adnan,
Okay.
and we are hoping to make this AGV forklifter in a commercial level as soon as we are done with the FYP finalization of the project, and that will be coming into the market for our industry use, and in order to make those motivations come true for this Pakistan industry.
That's great. Okay, Hamna, what was your motivation?
Yes, ma'am. My motivation is somehow related, maximally related with Hassan, and it is sustainability of food consumption. As Hassan discussed that how much the population is rising, and the meat intake is also rising. And journal human intake for protein should be 15% minimum. And a country like Pakistan, we still faces shortage of meat and protein shortage in our country. So that was our main motivation. And as we see in the global market, the fish market is very rising industry nowadays, especially because fish meat are equally compatible with the beef meat. So the protein intake you can use as compatible to beef would be fish, and fishes are more easily to grow, and you can grow them very faster in a very smaller area too. So motivation is to compete with the social consumption of food by cultivating fish in a very efficient way, where we can grow a faster rate of fish by a very good manner, and to overcome the issue facing by aquaculture industry of Pakistan.
Good. Rizwan, are you with us?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you. So what was the motivation of building this automobile sunvisor?
So
Smart.
the motivation for building this project is to reduce the downtime and the unplanned downtime for the machines in the industry, and to schedule jobs in such a way that the minimum idle time and the required for processing of the jobs. So what we have did is we have implemented the IoT system on the machine, so that hello, can you
Yes,
hear
yes,
me,
we can
ma'am?
hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Please carry on.
So for this project, what we did is we have taken the data from the machines, and we did the predictive maintenance of the machines, and find the productivity of the machines on real-time basis and show on the dashboard of the user. For that, we have made a website, and the user can check the productivity of the machine as well as the predictive maintenance of the machine, and do this, take the steps and decisions before the machine uh, maintenance and anything required for the uh,
Okay. Would you like to share your video? Rizwan? Would you
Yes,
like
ma'am.
to share your video?
Yes, ma'am.
So kindly show it. It's stuck for some reason. Okay, Rizwan. Sorry, we'll move to the next question. Okay, so the next question from all the young engineers is, how do you distinguish a hardware project made by an engineer versus a worker at an industry? So all of you must have done your internship, as it is a requirement of BE Mechatronics and SZABIST. So how do you distinguish the work done by you versus a worker at the industry? Yes, please. Zephyr?
Okay, so the work done by us as an engineers, since we have no experience, so there is a kind of a difference between our working capability and capacity, and the industry workers working and capacity. I suppose there are 3-4 different things which differentiates between us as an fresh engineers and people who are working in industry. It's just like usage of machines. As industrial workers use their machineries with respect to the demand, the need they have to their clients. Supposingly, let's suppose that the internship I was doing with the organization that was Helic, or that the were using the machines according to the demand they were having for through CNC machines or through some different manufacturing machines. So as far as I as an engineers are concerned, we work quite differently. We work by according to our knowledge, according to a level of competencies, according to a level of skills which we have acquired since first semester till the 8th semester right now, up to the date. So we tend to work with those couple of knowledge, those jar of skills we already have with ourselves. We think with that mindsets, by having that knowledge, and we tend to work with machines in that particular way of format, which is a few things that, according to me, that is that. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, so these few things differentiate between as a engineer, freshman, and as a industrial workers.
All right. Thank you, Zephyr. Hamna?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, important for me, I think, manufacturing anything by an engineer and a worker, the first thing is to use efficiency. The amount of product or raw material we use or design, they don't know how to use certain things inefficiently. I have worked in an industry for my internship, and I have seen that all they do is they have been provided with specific machines, and they have told that you have to perform that specific operations. They don't know about the knowledge, and they don't know, and they are using things very roughly. So they are number two thing is safety guidelines too. They didn't follow it until unless there is one supervisor who is constantly seeing that person and constantly also monitoring the amount of material they are using. So they use very inefficiently. Obviously, they are not taught all of these things. We are have been taught. And the second thing is about, ma'am, all the knowledge we know about that product which we are which we are manufacturing. Like we know its past, we know its present, and we know its future. That how we are going to build that project, how we are going to utilize very efficiently, and all the things. They are not aware of that. So there is a very big difference if an industry worker makes such things because they are following some guidelines, and if there is any mishap between them, that they are not able to do a non-spot decision. Like we can do that, we have a complete knowledge for that कि हम उसको कोई फौरन ही हम कोई दूसरा solution निकाल के कर सकते हैं, तो वो नहीं कर सकते. So for me is efficiency, safety guidelines, and the complete knowledge.
Safety guidelines is a good point you brought, Hamna, that they don't know about the hazards, but we as engineers, we know about it. That's a good point. Yes, Hassaan, what do you think?
Yes, I'll be, as my experience in the industry, what I've observed is there are certain parameters like background knowledge, some standards, certain good practices, and certain safety that are kept in mind by an engineer, where it is mostly seen and observed. Myself, I've been observing the worker. They're just motivated to see the hardware work, but are very they may also neglect some of the safety parameters that are in the guideline. And a thorough research is a very important tool for an engineer, but the worker mostly relies on his previous experience in the DA college. As an engineer, while designing, he makes sure the life cycle of hardware to be as maximum as possible. But here the worker lags. And most importantly, the engineer has it links with the engineering community across the globe, and he is being continuously availing himself with the modernization and the trends in the technology. So he makes sure the hardware design and manufacture has the capability of modification and upgradation. But I believe that here the worker is at great disadvantage.
Great, all of you explained quite nicely. So yes, as engineers, we know all the background working. We rely on the calculations, but workers work like a layman, so they don't know about how things work. They're just doing it because someone's taught them, right? Okay, so my next question is, what are the skills which helped you in your project? What skills you learned in your 4-year degree at SZABIST which helped you in your FYPs? Who'd like to answer first? Hamna?
The skills which help me and my project partners in our project is first of all the project management, which includes the time management and all the work scheduling, that what we should have to do first and second. So the project management is one of the skills that we have that it has helped us a lot. The next thing is our I'm talking about the skill that we use, not the engineering what we have studied right now. So the next thing, due to this COVID situation, we have to make our so many work to the machining, to the labor part. So telling them and managing them is a very you have to know that skill. So this skill have also helped us a lot कि उनसे काम करवाना अपना, especially to the labor and the diploma holder people too, क्योंकि उनका अपने हिसाब से आपको specifications देनी पड़ती हैं, तो उनको
Exactly.
काम करवाने का जो एक skill होना चाहिए, वो उससे हमें काफ़ी help मिली है. हमारे मशीनिंग प्रोसेस को ईजी करने के लिए. नेक्स्ट द थिंग्स वी हैव लर्न इन आवर 4-year degree program. First thing which help us is the designing of projects. So machine designing have helped us a lot to design of our system, the FA analysis, strength of materials and all these things, because as we are making a product, we have weight and everything, so the analysis are very important. SolidWorks, very main skill that we have to design. And when you have a complete product, your project in front of your eyes in terms of SolidWorks, so it's very easy to analyze any defaults and any type of issues you can cater. The next thing is research work, which have been taught us a lot, that for any project or any topic you have to research. You should have a lot of research for that. So this is skill. And mechatronic system design, this is the main thing, to integrate the mechanical, electronical and the software part to in one system. So this is the very main skill that we have learned, including the IoT by using the sensors and actuators. So these skills have us for our project.
Well said, Hamna. Huzaifa?
Okay, yes. So in these 4 years of time period, I have learned a lot of skills, a lot of different mindsets of an engineer, being an engineer, firstly. Secondly, in this 4 years of time period and in this mechatronics program, I have learned a lot. First thing, starting with my FYP project, that is, when it comes to the research, the research part what I learned was from the courses, but just such as oral communication and presentation skills since the first semester, and as carried on towards the electronic circuits, the programming, and the mechanical hardware, mechanical designs, then mechatronic systems, and towards my FYP. So this is the track which was beautifully followed, and this allowed me to use these skills for my forklifter, for my FYP project. That when I was doing practical working of my FYP AGV project, the most important role was of AutoCAD, and definitely without that skill, design was not possible. AutoCAD, SolidWorks, the new model. And then the third part came in was about the whole workshop that
Yes,
helped,
workshop.
basically that helped a lot to me, which allows me to know which joints are to be made, about the strength of material, some we studied, which that allows me which material to use, which is most economical engineering to be placed as an engineer. Then moving on towards, as this knowledge get me towards my mechanical hardware. Simultaneously, the programming part came in, which allows me to cater how to move this project into the how to make this project automized by using artificial intelligence or other systems. Through
Very
that
well.
the skill sets, I was able to program my AGV, my FYP very quite easily, and test it and check it whether it is according to the market demand or not. And as far as the most last part is concerned, which is creating an AGV as a machine, the robotics, most beautiful part of this department is the mechatronics itself, the robotics, the mechatronic system design. That basically, this is the basic, after all this skill sets, the last skill set, not the last, by the way, but the basic accumulation part of it is the mechatronic system design, which basically helps you as a robotic engineer to summarize all the skills to one thing. And that is, by considering my skill of knowledge, that is my FIP, that is my AGV forklifter. So these skills along the 4 years time period allows me to make such a beautiful success to myself as my AGV forklifter, auto guided vehicle forklifter for my industry, for Pakistan.
Very well said, Huzaifa. Hassaan?
All right. I guess there are many technical and soft skills that I went through that went through in helping us creating our FYP. Let us go with the designing phase. The designing phase required a lot of analytical thinking. It required a lot of focus, some local surveys, and some knowledge and usage of modern CAD designing tool. Whereas for the electronics or the circuitry part, we had to accumulate all the experience that we have gained in our previous project and all we have gained in our previous labs. And most importantly, what I've learned is the use of certain lab equipment like multimeter, function generator, and oscilloscope that help me in detecting any faulty connections in my FAP, any faulty sensor, and it made me ensure that the output at the end of a microcontroller was correct. And knowledge regarding power electronic, which is a course offered here at ZABIST in Mechatronic department, was crucial for us because the power rating for our project was quite high. It was around 12 volt and 30 ampere. Uh, and for that, we needed to make a protection circuit or a circuit that could help us in safeguarding the power that is at the back end of the main supply. And now proceeding towards the software part, uh, that included development and its integration with the hardware. For that particular purpose, we had to use certain programming language like C++, Java for the Android development, and Python, of course, which we had been learning in our previous semesters. And most importantly, I believe selecting the right equipment, keeping in consideration its overall cost, something we have definitely learned through our 4 degree program here at Zabis. Furthermore, the most important for all of the South Asian people, negotiation and the right knowledge of markets and equipment, it helped us to reduce the cost of the
Okay,
overall
that was my
hardware.
next question. Okay, so that was great. Some of you mentioned about the programming, some of you mentioned about the mechanical, and some of you mentioned about the electronics. So different aspects of mechatronics helped you in your FIPs. So that's good to hear about that. Okay, now moving on to the next one because we are short of time. How has COVID impacted your project, and what steps have you taken to mitigate its effect? I want at least one answer from Hamna. Would you like to answer this one?
Ma'am, can you please repeat the question? I just missed
How
it.
how has COVID impacted your project, and what
Okay.
steps have you taken to mitigate its effect?
Okay, ma'am. Like, COVID has impacted a lot in many senses. The work delaying, the more amount has been used on that. And to mitigate it, we first, ma'am, all the things were closed. As university also closed, we have no access to workshops. So all our mechanical structure part was at pause. So we decided to do all the electronics part and all the sensors and coding at that time. So we finished our electronics, all the wirings and all the programming beforehand. So after when the university or workshop will get open, so we can easily integrate our mechanical structure with our electronics. And because of COVID, we have to outsource many machining process, which have increased our amount too. And it has also created so much issues, especially for a market, when we have to order sensors and different type of circuitry. So to mitigate it, we have divided our work and
Okay,
expanded.
so you managed that when you had access to electronics, so you did the electronics part, and when you had access to mechanical, so that's how you divided
Yeah,
your project. So when
yeah, ma'am.
there's always that's great. When you want to get to the solution, there's always a plan B.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, like before this, we were never used to using Zoom and Meet this often, and now we are using it every day. We are having classes on this, and this online tab thing, we are using this. Uh, Before, the teachers only used those whiteboards for writing purposes, and now we are writing those Wacom tablets. So life has changed, but you need to get to used to this.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Even many of us are coding and research work we have done on Meet. Like we can't go each other's house, so we one person have an access to laptop. They are going to share the screen, and we can code and we can research for our work. So yes,
Yeah.
we have adopted this thing.
Yeah. Good. Okay, my last question is, how have you divided the task in your project so far? Are teamwork and communication skills important? Huzaifa, you take this
Yes,
one?
this is. Uh, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so this is the most important part, the communication and teamwork, team management part. To be honestly, this COVID situation hindered our FIP project a lot, just due to the teamwork and communication. We were able to pull this situation. We were able to adapt this COVID-19, and we were able to work. So the teamwork is definitely there with my group partners, Mustafa Mubashir and Rahil Fatmi. So working alongside them, the capacities of skills we three have are uh, in particular. Supposingly in this project, I was taking the deal for mechanical structure part, because having the pride of myself to be to be part of mechanical engineering side more. So Rahil was there for always for there for designing and development, and again we all three were there for research, and Mustafa Mubashir was there for programming. And this teamwork led us to, in this COVID situation, this teamwork made us to connect together. We again, as you all earlier discussed about plan B, we were already having plan B for that. So there we were able to make programming by help of my teammates, and we were able to join our efforts, combine efforts, in order to make this FIP look more easier to be manufactured in this hard COVID time period.
Right. Great. So teamwork and communication skills are really very, very important. And this you will realize when you join the industry, you will realize this more. Okay, Hassan, would you like to add something on it?
Yes, I would. As my previous fellow mentioned, that it was very important factor. It was the foremost priority of their project, and every project like ours, we would not have been possible to build that prototype if it was not for every individual effort put in. And we divide the division of tasks was crucial, because each one of had our own area of expertise. Like I would give you some highlights. My group leader, Ms. 𝗔𝗱𝗃𝗧𝗧, she voluntarily took all the documentation tasks, and she also, being a girl, she also helped us in building of the prototype. And Mr. Aziz, he was only responsible for the hardware part, and voluntarily took up the job of procuring everything, including sensor, including materials. And what I believe, the teamwork was the foremost priority whenever we were jotting down our daily task and our monthly task, because that helped us to save time, and it helped us to remain focused. And the objectives we laid down were covered with full efficiency. And furthermore, about the effective communication skill, it is important in terms that it can verify any professional concern we had with my FIP partner. And on most of the part, we were successfully able to resolve certain conflicts that were arising due to the workload of the FIP.
Okay, very well said, Hassan. So this is the reality. This happens. You need to cope with this. So thank you all the young engineers to be engineers in a few months, inshallah. Thank you for joining us and sharing your experience with us. And good luck for your finals and for your FIPs. From
And
next week, you are having your finals.
I need to add one thing.
Yeah, please.
That is, without the help of this beautiful faculty, we would not have been, at least me as my मैं ये चीज नहीं कर सकता था complete FIP अपना at this point of time. That's very the efforts of a faculty, especially you, Sir Anil, and all the faculty members of Mechatronics department. without the help of these faculty members, this could not have come on board, or this project wouldn't be have been made in such a way.
Thank you for recognizing, but it's you, it's your work. Majorly, it's your work. We're just here to aid you. Okay. Thank you. At the end, I will just conclude that for our students, we have our projects lab, where it is which is solely built for the FYP students, where basic equipments like power supplies, function generators, oscilloscopes, and multimeters, etc., are present, so they can perform the testing and troubleshooting of their FYPs there. Also, we have a workshop where lathe machines, milling machine, drilling machines, band saws, and different kinds of saws are present, so they can carry out the mechanical work if needed. Also, beside these labs, we have regular course labs, which is robotics lab, thermodynamics labs, uh, etc. So when they are free, the students can go there, and they can ask the help from the lab engineers, because they are there, and they can get help from them. So this was all about today's webinar. Thank you again for joining.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So Allah Hafiz, everybody.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am.
Allah Hafiz,
Allah
ma'am.
Hafiz, ma'am.